on Wednesday, I was just kind of living my life. I was working on the show. I was watching another basketball game, actually, when I saw that the Phoenix Suns beat the LA Clippers. And I went, wait, what? How did the Suns beat the LA Clippers? I think the Clippers are a team that could win the championship this year. What happened? I just was so interested. And I record every single NBA game. And so I found the recording. And there's like a button you hit NBA and you add the NBA. And they record every single NBA event to my like cloud DVR or whatever. That's YouTube TV is great. And so I found the recording. I was watching the game and I dove into it. And I got a lot to say about the Suns and about the Clippers and what happened. But the number one most important thing, this is how the Clippers lost to the Suns. This is how the Suns beat the Clippers. The way it happened was with a guy named Devin Booker. You know the name, Devin Booker. He's a guy with superstar talent, in my opinion. Just a great, phenomenal scorer. And Devin Booker not only had 35 points, he had 6 3-pointers, he had 8 assists. But what's crazy about Devin Booker is he just kept hitting clutch shot after clutch shot after clutch shot. Defenders in his face, down the stretch, totally cool with it. Just kept burying massive bucket after massive bucket, continuing to keep his team in the fight and keep them alive against the LA Clippers. And I'm telling you, man, Devin Booker hit so many big shots. We're going to talk about the most impressive shot he took was the final shot, but don't forget the other ones he took leading up to the final shot. So Devin Booker hits the game-winning shot, the game winner, with 2 of the best elite wing defenders in the NBA guarding him. He hit the game winner over both, not one, but both of them, both Kawhi Leonard and Paul George. He knocked down the game winner with them guarding him. It's a big deal. I mean, the Suns won 117-115, and it's because of Devin Booker's effort and because the Suns are just playing really, really good basketball right now. They're 3-0 in the bubble. DeAndre Ayton is awesome. He's their draft pick from previously. And it's fun to watch DeAndre Ayton because he wears the shorts really low, and he already looks like he belongs in the 80s when you look at his body type, and he's a center at heart. And you watch DeAndre Ayton, he's got the short shorts, and he looks like he belongs in the 80s with Larry Bird or, Magic Johnson. It's so cool. He had 19 points against the Clippers. And a big part of why the Suns beat the Clippers was Mikal Bridges. Mikal Bridges was guarding Kawhi Leonard. And the Suns have Ricky Rubio. So you have Mikal Bridges guarding Kawhi Leonard, who I think is a guy who, I don't know if he gets enough love, honestly. He's a guy who is not the best scorer. He doesn't put up a ton of points. But his defense was crucial in this game with the Suns beating the Clippers because they had a guy who could slow down and get in front of Kawhi Leonard. Now, the Suns have Ricky Rubio. Ricky Rubio is a guy that when I heard, I was like, oh yeah, the Suns have Ricky Rubio. I was watching the game, like, oh yeah, wow. And he's a guy who was a bit overhyped coming out of Europe to the NBA, where it's not really Ricky Rubio's fault. The media wanted him to be a star, kind of like Luka Doncic is. And Ricky Rubio is just not a superstar. But the reality is that Ricky Rubio is awesome, and he's a point guard who can help your team win. He's a guy who's a very above average above average point guard in the NBA. And I think he deserves a little bit more respect than he gets. People just constantly talk about Ricky Rubio like he's a giant bust. It's like, I don't know that it's fair to call him a giant bust. He had unrealistic expectations coming out of Europe to the NBA. Now, here's a fun thing that I kind of can't believe I can say about the Phoenix Suns is that you look at their team. They have Ricky Rubio. They have Mikal Bridges. They have Devin Booker. They have DeAndre Ayton. And I really believe that the Phoenix Suns are just one more big name or one more big contributor away from winning a lot of games. And it's so awesome to be able to say that. I mean, the Suns haven't made the playoffs in 11 years, which I know for like the Detroit Lions fans listening are like, wow, 11 years is like nothing, right? But think about it, man. They have a young DeAndre Ayton. They have, DeAndre Ayton missed a ton of games this year. That hurt the Suns. They have Ricky Rubio. They need one more player. maybe a guy like Mikal Bridges is going to improve as a scorer. That'd be really huge. But beating the Clippers was a big deal for the Phoenix Suns. The broadcasters throughout the game, the broadcasters kept hinting, well, like, any minute now, the Clippers are going to turn it on. Any minute now, the Clippers are going to turn it on and win this game. And I can't blame them. But the Suns beat the Clippers with Lou Williams back. Now, Lou Williams is still recovering from being quarantined. He was on limited minutes. But I'm telling you, man, the Suns winning on Wednesday was a big deal. And I'm happy for the Suns. It's a big win for their franchise. They're 3-0 in the bubble. And Devin Booker, man, you can't forget how many, not just the final shot. Devin Booker hit multiple clutch shots down the stretch with defenders in his face to keep the Suns alive in that game. And then he hit the game winner over not just Kawhi Leonard, but Kawhi Leonard and Paul George, two of the elite wing defenders in the NBA. Credit to Devin Booker. I'm so happy for the Suns. And I would love to see the Phoenix Suns in the next couple years develop into a team that has a winning record and makes the playoffs. I think it'd be so cool. And I think brighter days are ahead. I know they're the Suns, which is kind of ironic. Brighter things are ahead for the Phoenix Suns.